Hello, hello. What's up? Oh, this is actually not blocking me nearly as much as I thought it was. Okay, we're here. Welcome. Oh, you're just getting a nice view of this. There we go. What's up? No on-screen chat, unfortunately. And that is why I said that this was going to be more of a tech demo, is because originally I had the entire nope, didn't like that. There's a light here, but it doesn't want to seem to come on. Let's try something else. But yeah, I originally had it all kind of ready to go. It was all set up. It was gonna be freaking great. It was gonna be dope. And then I actually tried to open it up today, and it just shit the bed. I had like all of my normal scenes, all of my like everything. And it was like, oh, never mind. All your shit's corrupted. You're just not allowed. You're not allowed to use any of it. And so now I'm here and we're here. Let me switch over to live chat. Is it working? I don't see anyone in the chat and on the chat doc. And a bunch of people said that they were going to come. So either something is broken, or you guys are just extra specially quiet today. Let's see. And I'm leaning towards something just being broken. Oh, never mind. You guys are just quiet. Okay, hello. What's up? John, Rebecca, Marina, how y'all doing? John, I did see your message. I didn't have time to reply to it because the laptop that I'm using to do this, Paige was using to work out at a coffee shop, and she kind of forgot that I was going to need to use it for streaming. So I just ran out to meet her, and I got back in this spot like a minute ago. Oh, what's up, Hans? What's up, Hopi? What's up, Undead King? I do have a couple of things, or a couple of things picked out, and they're all stuff that has been suggested already in suggestions, and it seemed like they were all spoilers light. But I will confirm, because I wrote them all down. So let's see. No. And yeah, this is going to be, as I said, a bit of a tech demo, I would say. Or maybe not a tech demo, but you know, kind of letting me know how these things go. First of all, Quebin, for all of you. Oh, what's up, Guy Constructs? For the first time, welcome. This is a heck of a live for your first time, and I don't mean that in a good way, unfortunately. I've never streamed outside of my setup before, but I'm traveling for a week to see family, and so I was like, and I was just gone for 2 weeks, so I was like, I can't take that off. But yeah, how does the audio sound? Is it terrible? Is it doable? How do we feel about the audio? Because I didn't bring I don't have a case for the big one. Oh, what's up? Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you. I told my mom, I was like, oh, if you're at the store and you see like a Rain cherry limeade, if you would get one for me, that'd be dope. And she called me and said that she couldn't find one, so she just got me 3 different kinds of energy drinks to try. Audio sounds good. Good audio. Oh, hell yeah, your mic is great. No idea about the audio level. That was adorable. Yeah, my mom's cute. Not a year long. Audio is audioing, so you're all good. We're energizing. Yeah, this looks like it would be energizing. We're gonna try this one. All right, live taste test. Zevia 0 calorie energy raspberry lime, naturally flavored. Tastes fine. I'm not a good taste tester. I've always said this. I don't rate like food and drink on a 0 to 10 scale because I really don't care that much. Food and drink are like 1 to 3 for me. 1 is I will turn it down if my in-laws serve it. 3 is I would make it for myself, and 2 is everything else. Like 90% of food and drinks are 2s. And I just have no care in that category. Describe the smell, please. It kind of tastes like if you packed a bunch of, or not taste, smells like if you packed a bunch of sweet tarts into a tire and then put that tire on a car and did burnouts in the parking lot. It kind of tastes like burnt sweetness. Burnt sugar. Yeah, it's a 2. That's a vivid description. I give vivid descriptions, dude. Well, Paige has done stand-up before, and she has a whole bit about how whenever she asks me like what I think of like a new shirt that she bought or a purse or whatever, she just bought a purse, and she was like, what do you think of it? And I was like, it looks like you're in a steampunk movie and they're like, whoa, a girl mechanic, and you're like better than all the boy mechanics, because it's that type of movie, and that's what that purse looks like. I just, my brain only thinks in terms of hyper specific descriptions. I once said that an outfit made her look like a babysitter at a municipal pool, but in a hot way. And she was like, how can that be in a hot way? And I was like, it is. I don't know. A real gamer grill. Kaylee from Firefly? Yes, Kaylee from Firefly. Exactly. It looked like a purse that Kaylee from Firefly would have. That's exactly it, John. I feel like I know the movie better than the purse, but I feel described to. That sounds like a bad hat. No, it was a purse. It's like this. It was like a leather purse that was circular and had like a big opening thingy on the top. And I don't know how else to describe it. That's great to know though that the mic quality is good. I was really worried it wouldn't be, and that's really good to know because I don't want to bring around the expensive mic everywhere. It looks like the color temperature on the camera is really can't decide where it wants to be. I'm seeing the color of what? There we go. I'm seeing the color of the ceiling shift a lot depending on how close or far I am from the camera. But that's okay. I mean, since it's a purse, it is probably a bad hat. That's fair. What time is it over where you are? Almost midnight here. Oh, Hopi, a European frog. What's up? You are not alone, Hopi. I have a surprisingly non-insignificant European demo. No, it's about 5 p.m. About 5:10. So this is when we normally do the Critical Role streams. But I am wanting to do more lunch clubs, which I normally do much earlier for the Europeans. So around like noon my time. So like 7 y'all's time. And I want to do more of like the extras type of stuff, like the stuff we're doing tonight. I want to do more during like the lunch club type stuff. So I normally try to let you know what I'm doing at the lunch club ahead of time. Normally it's not Critical Role, but I'm going to try to work more into it. Well done, Jack, for knowing a media reference. Let's go. You mentioned like one of the 2 shows I know because it's only 1 season, so it's easy to watch. I give good descriptions, opening thingy. I give good sensory descriptions, not good visual ones. Hopi 1 a.m. Oh my god! Holy shit! Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. What's Lunch Club? Lunch Club is just a name. It's just branding. It's me rebranding, not wanting to schedule things. It's what Lunch Club is. No, when I first started streaming, I said I'm gonna stream every single day to like make myself do it, and so I would stream for an hour from like noon to 1. And that was Lunch Club. And so now I'm trying to bring Lunch Club back as a place to do like the more normal type streams. Like just like me playing a video game or like me like watching stuff. So basically all the non-CR stuff, but I also want to do some like extra CR stuff there too. Honestly, I've just been so busy the past like month and a half or 2 months that I haven't been able to do it. And I'm traveling until the end of this week. And after this week, I will be at home basically until Christmas. So I'll be hopefully doing a lot more streaming, a lot more hours. And there'll be a lot more content. Weirdly, neither involves lunch, nor is it a club. We don't even go clubbing. That's fair. Hello, I could really use a distraction tonight, so glad you're streaming. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Kale. I mean, I guess I don't know if that's positive or negative, but if it is negative, hope you're doing all right, and I'm very happy to provide a distraction. Yeah, God. And I also want to, I'm going to reorganize the playlists on the YouTube a little bit to be a little bit more, a little less all over the place. I'm going to do like one for the watch through, one for the lunch clubs, that sort of thing. But yeah, with, we shall cast Minor Illusion all night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So at first I was thinking that I was going to do D&D Soul. But I think that might actually be a little bit too long. As crazy as that sounds, it's only like half an hour. But I have a couple other ones. So there's the Carpet Throwback, which is 10 minutes.
The grandest of adventures often stem from humble beginnings.
There's Sam and Regal.
The story of
Sam
Vox
Regal and Nina
Machina
create their
is
characters,
one such a tale.
which is 22
They begin
minutes,
as a ragtag group
still
of
a little
mercenaries.
long. And then there's the story of Vox Machina, which is 21 minutes. So I'm thinking probably the Carpet Throwback is my initial idea right there. I'm hearing 2 audios, not anymore. Uh-oh. I hope that doesn't continue. So this is the one that I'm thinking we do. Just because it's short and it's like guaranteed. Because we were hearing the CR intro audio. Oh, I wasn't even hearing that. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh! Fuck. Okay. Pause. I forgot that I'm going to need to play this out loud, so I need to go get my headphones. And I don't have my headphones on me. They're upstairs, though. I'll be right back. Even though I don't have my normal be right back screen. But I will be, trust me. 1 second. Alright. You had a video open and it was too loud. You had the story of Vox Machina. Oh no, so you guys didn't even hear. Fuck. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Basically, I am going to, I think we're going to do carpet throwback. Because I think carpet throwback is just short enough, especially based on my most recent run times. I think it's just short enough to where my goal is for this to go into like 6:30-ish, and I think a 10-minute runtime is good for that. The first one chronologically would be Sam Riegel, Liam make their characters. Oh, is it? Like chronologically in terms of release order, or in terms of in character or like in fiction chronologically? Ah, shit. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna do Sam Riegel and Liam O'Brien create their characters. All work, no play podcast, I believe. Let's see. Oh wait. Let's see. And hopefully this can be heard. Oh wait, I need to switch the scene. Some new stuff that I haven't even watched. Ooh. Ooh. Hello. Okay. Oh, I can't have the chat open. Oh, shit. Okay. That is going to be tough. Oh, wait, I can have the chat open on my phone. All right, we'll be fine. There's no visuals, Marina, just audio. Oh. Okay, I also missed it. What does the rest of your shirt say? Oh, you reach out to push the orc off the ledge.
Wow.
Natural one. But instead lightly caresses back. He is uncomfortable. I'll never heard of then. First thing ever recorded. Ooh boy. Okay. You are welcome. Let me get chat pulled up on the cellular. And then I think we'll be good to go. No. Can I not pull it up on the cellular? Do I sound like a boomer saying cellular? Cell phone. Like a boomer. Oh, there we go. Okay. And we've got the live chat there. New timeouts. Hey, I may be in and out of stream tonight working on some stuff, but we'll try to bounce between. Hey, no problem, man. You do not need to, you don't need to explain yourself. I appreciate every second of your life that you choose to spend with me and to spend here. And, you do not need to feel bad or feel like you need to justify not being here. Our time is precious. I feel very fortunate and privileged that you guys choose to spend it with me. Let's see. The first half was recorded before the Genesis one-shot that started everything. Second half is just after the one-shot. Understood. Let's see. Okay, Liam. Wait, let's see. Liam arranged a game with Matt Mercer, convincing Sam to join so they could discuss it on their podcast. I just found their conversations amusing because of their relationship to the game now. This video is for myself as much as anything, so enjoy.
Next week we'll do one that you guys suggested.
We have stepped up our game, okay?
Yes.
We have gone from 0 to 60.
How is that volume? It seemed good on the mixer, but I'm not sure. I turn it up a little bit on my end.
No fucking around. All right, so last week in episode 1, we started simple. We did a video game online. No big whoop. You guys have been doing it for a decade, right? Next episode,
low? Okay,
you'll
low.
get to hear about us playing pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons,
Dungeons
motherfucker.
and Dragons. We're doing D&D.
Still quiet.
We're going back to the 80s, and we're playing D&D with a group of dudes.
With a group, well, maybe
And
one
girls.
maybe one actual girl, which would really lend a lot of validation and legitimacy.
It's true,
to
although
us.
it wouldn't be an authentic experience.
Right. we wouldn't.
So yeah, we got invited and snapped up the opportunity to attend a Dungeons and Dragons tournament hosted by
Maybe one actual girl. Dude, that's too real. Perfect audio, sick. That is too real. I've never, not for lack of trying, but this is my now wife is the first girl I ever played D&D with, and it was because we were dating. And I was like, it's really fun though. Like you should try it out. And it's really sad. It's very sad because I know that there are a lot of really I don't want to say legitimate because that almost that sounds weird, but like it's kind of a hostile space for women sometimes, and that really sucks. And I don't know the way to make it better, but it sucks that that's like it's true and therefore now a joke. The one shot was for Liam's birthday, which is in June, and due to scheduling conflicts, it was delayed until December. Dude, that was like fucking again, my wife, Paige, for my birthday was like, hey, I'll run a Blades in the Dark one shot, pump the counter. And it took her about 6 extra months to ever actually run it. It happens, man. One shots are hard. And scheduling is hard, I tell you. Oh yeah, it's been well over 10 years for them since the home games. Their youngest friendships, the ones who only met at the game, are at least that old. That's so crazy. His birthday's in May. Checked my party, and I'm playing with one girl and one non-binary. Kinda accurate, I guess. Lol. God damn it, Sam.
Matthew Mercer,
who we've already been talking about on this podcast.
Right, played Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil.
Such a nice guy.
Right.
He has beautiful hair. Although if you cut it off, he loses all of his power.
He's not really as good an
That's
actor
how I am.
if
He's
you cut his hair off.
That's exactly how I am.
But he's hosting a D&D event.
He's a dungeon master.
My first group, multiple campaigns, had 2 girl players, which was nice. No parties since. Yeah, I don't know. Audio is perfect. Hell yeah. Good to know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also just I most of the people that I actually like play D&D with regularly, we all learned D&D together, or I like actively taught it to them, and I'm just not friends with a lot of new people. I'm mostly like IRL friends with like people that I went to high school with, and like that's actually one of the things that I've been like, not struggling with, but is like, I don't know how to do is like, how do you make friends as an adult? Like, I'm not forced to hang out with people for 8 hours a day. It's like, how do I like go about making friends? And I feel like the only way is like you join a club or an activity. So I've been kind of looking around for an LGS, but I'm not sure yet. I don't have a lot of time, and I want to stream more, so it's like, I don't know. But I've been making friends with like other content creators, which is really cool. Lol, I'm a girl who really wants to play. Yeah, I mean, I know that they're out there. I know they exist, right? Like, I'm not. It's not this like mysterious factor, but I think that a lot of spaces, unfortunately, are kind of hostile, which really sucks. So that's why like I would like to like get involved with an LGS and like make a cool space just for everyone. But that's a lot of time and effort. So Whatever. You make friends by total accident in my experience. Yeah, fair enough. But I don't go into work. I work remote. I hang out with people remote. I've been trying. We just went on a friend date with another couple right before we left. And so I'm making friends there. But it's also a thing of we moved to a new city as adults where we didn't know anyone. So it's I feel like a lot of times you make friends through the grapevine. It's one of your friends makes another friend, and so you get connected to them. Whereas we had no starting block, but we're starting to get one, which is cool. That's such a mood. No adults know how to make friends. Yeah, man. I tell you what. I play with my girlfriend who loves tea. I recommend she plays a tea merchant, and she loves it. Hell yeah. The other played a violent, chaotic dwarf barbarian type, so very different. Lol. Hell yeah, dude. That's dope. I love something I've never done before. My very first character had a profession outside of adventuring. And I've never played a character since that had a profession. And your comment right there of just I recommended she play a tea merchant. That's such good advice of being hey, you're gonna have your race and you're gonna have your class. And that is interesting and that's enough. But it's also not very grounded. And it's hey, have this profession that you can imagine that you as a person are passionate about, because you're probably not passionate about ranging or wizardry, right? Or witchcraft. But this thing that you're passionate about, hey, work that into your character. And I can imagine that got her a lot more invested in that character, that it was doing this thing that she is interested in separately. That's really good advice. A lot of D&D spaces can be intimidating for females. Yeah, it really sucks. I think it's hopefully getting a little bit better. Even watching the Critical Role streams, how much more intimidating it was and how much more critical it was of the women in early Critical Role compared to what it's now. I think things are getting better, hopefully, but I don't know. It's a tough one, and I'm not sure what to do about it, and I don't know that it's really my place to to determine what to do about it. I just have to listen to women in the space who know what to do. I've only played with mostly women, but that's because all my D&D friends are from the women's soccer supporters group I'm a part of. Oh, that's sick. That's very, very cool. I don't know if this is weird or controversial to say, but I've always been more comfortable around girls and women because I was raised primarily by a single mom who had a bunch of female woman friends, and my two closest friends growing up were girls. I've just felt very comfortable in those spaces, and weirdly enough, D&D is what got me comfortable around other men. When I first, especially I had no idea how to interact with men in grade school and middle school, and then in high school I joined men's choir, and I met a couple of cool dudes, and then we started playing D&D together every week, and it legitimately taught me socialization skills of how do you talk to guys when it's not about fucking sports, dude. Because I feel if you just watch media, that's what you talk to guys about. It's you talk to guys about sports and women, and that's not what I wanted to talk to dudes about. And so D&D was actually a really very nice environment for me to practice that socialization. Made a bunch of new friends through speedrunning streaming the last 3 years. Still regularly in touch, so it's definitely possible. Yeah, I've been debating how to make those friends online versus in person, because I really like a lot of my online friends, but I do think that there's something to be said for in-person socialization. And so that's where kind of my friend making has been focused, even though I love my online friends. I love my online friends. My best friend is an online friend, I would say, or best friends. I would say I have multiple, but yeah, I don't know. There's a different vibe to it being in person. Yeah, it was way easy for her to care more in roleplay. That's really good advice, Hopey Dopey. Especially for a new player, but kind of just in general, that I've never really thought about before. And I think I've accidentally done it. Almost all of my characters end up being map makers, either explicitly or just because I'm the one playing them and I like to play in my character and I like to make maps. So I've started building it into my recent characters, which I didn't even realize consciously. Of like, a lot of times if they get like a tool proficiency, I'll try to have it be like a cartographer's kit because I like making maps. My first character was a ranger who was a sports fanatic. My DM made playable sports minigames for me. Oh, that's so sick. Oh, that's very, very cool. Yeah, that's super dope. So you were never socialized to be comfortable with toxic masculinity? Yeah, it's dope. Which, I mean, has, obviously, now I have the hair, but, like, for most of my life, I looked like a very what would you call it, like very traditional dude, and like my dad, for like what parts of my raising he did, my dad's a pretty like flamboyant dude, and so he does do like the sports stuff, but he's not like a super machismo toxic guy. So I think that's why I am the way I am. But it was hard for me to like learn how to do that, and I still find myself like gravitating towards women like in social circles, which was kind of weird in college. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Jack's a huge flirt," because I would just like naturally gravitate towards talking to women at any function that we were at, unless I knew the guys really well. So yeah, it's been kind of weird, but life is life. And cars, yeah, which I could not. I like mechanical stuff. Like I like knowing how things work. So that's literally what me and my father-in-law talk about, is like, I can't talk about like sports with him. He hunts. I've hunted before. I don't mind hunting. So, but there's only like really so much you can talk about when it comes to hunting. But we'll talk about cars, not from like a peer standpoint, but from like, hey, how does an engine work? And then he explains it to me, and we chat, which is cool. You find common ground. You find things that you can be interested talking about. Most of my strongest relationships have come through gaming, so it's just been a bunch of gamers in my friend space. I feel that. Same here for sure. Are we doing C1 episodes tonight? No episodes, Robin, because I am traveling. I'm with family, so we're probably going to close out the stream sometime between 6:30 and 7. Maybe like 7 is like a hard stop. Aiming more for 6:30. So definitely could not get a full episode out. Full episode probably won't come until Monday. So yeah. Yeah, we are 1 minute into it. I get, it's me. Dude, bro, we're dinner clubbing. Yeah. It's a bit of dinner clubbing. That's true.
Saying he's a master of dungeons.
Wow.
A master of dungeons. I always try to draw friends who aren't into it. My first game I ran was for Halloween. Instead of asking for class and race, I asked for a costume they would wear and gave them abilities. Hopey Dopey, do you want to run the stream? That's a great idea. Holy shit, I love that. Dude, I just need to... Okay, this is a bit of a leak. You guys know I love leaking. I am going to interview a series of people about how to run one-shots, because I'm trash at running one-shots, and that is a fantastic idea for a one-shot. Do like holiday one-shots. Do a 4th of July. Well, not 4th of July for you guys. But like fucking, I don't know, what do you have? Boxing Day? I don't know what y'all have. But run like a Christmas one shot, Valentine's Day one shot, and have it be some sort of theme, and then just give them pre-mades based off of those themes. That's so sick. Oh yeah. Monday the 16th, Robin? Yes. Yeah, Monday the 16th will be... Wait, why is the calendar? Yes, Monday the 16th will be the second half of episode 20. Because I had so much to say about episode 20. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm stealing that, Hopi. Hi, it worked. They went trick-or-treating, and then one house they go into, and it transformed them into their monsters. So I had a vampire, Batman, skeleton, etc. Ah! Dude, that's so sick. Especially like that's really cool for D&D, but there are even some other systems where that could be even cooler for. Oh man, I'm gonna be thinking about that. Please steal it. It was so much fun. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, we're gonna get into the actual podcast now, but that's a very cool idea.
I don't know what that means. Here's the thing, guys. I've never played D&D. I don't know how to do it, and frankly, I'm frightened.
Right. Well, I'm a little frightened too, but so Sam has never done this. I played Dungeons and Dragons when I was in high school, like maybe sophomore. And I was our dungeon master when we did it.
Wow.
Right.
Nerd cred.
Yeah. But it was kind of a bastardized version. I was also playing. We were just really excited, and we were nerdy. Yeah. I mean, I'm nerdy now, but I've sort of couched it in a fun career.
Nerd drop.
But I have some experience. I understand how it goes. Now, I was 16 when I did it. It's been a long time, but you have zero experience.
Me and Sam have the same arc. Me and Sam have the same backstory, because... Yeah, I learned to DM D&D before I ever knew how to play. I played one session and then committed to running an entire campaign for me and my friends. And it was so bastardized. I think the worst thing that we did in terms of like not understanding the rules was that's Liam, not Sam. Oh, right, Sam. Or Liam. Fuck. You madman, dude. The worst thing that we did is we confused the difference between spell slots and prepared spells. So one of my friends was playing a warlock, and it said that he had 2 spell slots. And we thought that meant that he could have 2 spells prepared off of his list, but that he could cast them however many times he wanted, every turn. And he was playing a warlock, so he just sprinted into the middle of the enemies and just spam casted Arms of Hadar. And and just ruined my encounters. But it was so much fun. I have so many good memories from that. Because that's the thing about D&D, is like, if everyone's trying, everyone's having fun. And if no one takes it too seriously, especially when you're all learning, you just fuck around and have fun, man. Liam knows Sam is the new Vex and Vax. Yeah. We'll call it a modification. We'll say it was on purpose. I don't even have the excuse of like, oh, I got confused with Pathfinder, like they have. Like, I had no excuse. I just didn't read it right. I still don't really know. I'm too scared to play by the book, so I've only homebrewed with jank. Look, man, playing by the books is intimidating, but I think here's what I'll say about like playing with the rules. Because nowadays I don't want to say my games are rules focused, but like the tone at my table is very much like everyone knows the rules, everyone knows what they can or can't do. Like, I try to make all of the interactions very consistent so that they can easily play around within the rule set. And so, like, knowing the rules is a big part of my tables nowadays. And, like, helping people learn the rules is a big part of it. And I think that if you want to tell more serious and world-driven stories, I think it can be really helpful to learn the rules so that everyone's on the same playing field. And you can strategically break rules, and it allows you to really efficiently communicate things about your story. If you're either down to just like fuck around or to just over explain things, and do like a lot of like meta explanation, you really don't need to understand the rules that well, honestly. The reason that it's so important at my tables to understand the rules is because I don't do a lot of metatextual explanation. Like, if I tell them that that from what they understand, this is a level 7 fighter, but then they watch him multi-attack 3 times, right? I'm not going to explain that at my tables. If they ask me, I'm going to be like, yep, he multi-attacked 3 times. And I'm going to stare them in the eyes and not say a goddamn word else. And so if you don't know the rules, that doesn't trip any alarm bells. But if you do know the rules, it does. And so I think that can be a really efficient way to communicate story. But if you're down to over-communicate things, or if you're down to just not take it too seriously and not try to tell hyper-serious stories with, like, mysteries and whatever, or even, you can still tell mysteries, but if you're not wanting to be, like, coy as a DM, I really don't think you need to know the rules all that well. You can kind of fuck around and just figure it out as you go. I agree 100%. Hell yeah.
I don't know what, and we got an email from Matt asking us to pick our characters.
Right. For anyone who's familiar, I mean, normally you have a camp.
Which that makes all the difference, Hopi, is like, how into it are the characters? How much do the characters want to understand the rules? Because like my players are the type of players that want to understand the rules really well. That's why we work as like a table. So yeah, it really depends on the group.
Campaign, Sam.
Okay.
And what that means is it's ongoing. It's like Charles Dickens. It's a serial drama. You get together regularly.
Really?
People
do this?
People do it a lot.
Wow.
But Matt says that it's a one-off.
Okay.
So
it's going to be a self-contained short story.
Right. Your first taste of the drug is free. Okay. So it's a one-off, but you don't know anything about this.
No,
Yes,
and I
sir.
have to pick
Yes,
a character,
sir.
and they've given me things like I can be a human, dwarf, elf, halfling,
Slow down.
Goliath. What are these things?
Matthew-
What do I do?
Matt-
Can I just be Sam?
So everyone, here's the people who are doing it. It's Matt Mercer, Sam Riegel, and myself. Taliesin Jaffe.
Oh my God.
Will be there. He's a longtime player with Matt.
First-time listener.
First-time listener. And we roped a bewildered Travis Willingham.
Oh man, that's going to be fun.
Just bringing a bull into a china shop.
Literally.
And then probably his wife, Laura, which is not really that big of a surprise because she really is a friggin' nerdlinger.
She is.
And knows all about this stuff. No, she and we've played video games. She's a big player of Dragon Age and Skyrim. She likes the aesthetic. I've played things like Baldur's Gate and Dungeons & Dragons Pool of Radiance over the years, which is essentially it's the same game, but the computer is handling all the dice rolling and the math.
I see.
And giving you graphics instead of your imaginations.
So we'll be using our imaginations to tell a story about elves and orcs and things like that. And
Yes.
and the closest I've come to playing D&D is I saw the Community episode where they play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
So
I know everyone's stealing from Baldur's Gate. It's the get out the crazy board. They're time travelers. There's no way he played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. That would be ridiculous. No one played those. Those barely exist. They're just legends. No, that's wild. That's crazy. Yeah, it's very funny to hear, them talk about each other. Very funny that Orion doesn't even get brought up. I wonder how he was connected or if they're going to bring it up. But I'm sure it means nothing. Like, I don't think it's like a purposeful slight. It's just really funny in retrospect.
will Joel McHale be there?
He said he wasn't available that night, but
Dude, I would die for D&D with actual Joe McHale. So I really like Community, but also my wife used to watch a program, if you will, called The Soup with Joel McHale. and he seems like a funny fucking boy. He seems like a funny dude. We almost had Joel. Dude, Joel McHale instead of Orion Akaba. That'd be crazy. That would have been a wild ride. Oh.
But maybe if we turn it into a full-blown campaign.
Okay, and we choose characters for ourselves, and then the dungeon master sort of paints us a yarn and puts our characters in a world.
But I shouldn't even be that mean to Orion. He's not even. I don't want to be mean to him off screen, like when he's not doing something actively bad. So I remember when the soup was hosted by Greg Kinnar. Oh, I don't know Greg Kinnar, or do I? It actually sounds familiar. Greg Kinnear. Kinnear? I do know this guy. How do I know this guy? The last song, Stuck in Love. No. What? I don't know how I know this guy, and I swore off IMDb deep dives because oh no. Fuck, I just closed out of it. Back when I first started, especially because, everyone is a voice actor. Back when I first started, I would be like, oh my gosh, Travis is who?
Long time.
And I used to do like IMDb dives on stream, and it takes way too long.
Things like I can be a human, dwarf, elf.
Yes, everyone here's the people who are doing it. So, well, she really is a friggin' fake.
Elves and orcs and things like that. And
yes.
And the closest I've come to playing D&D is I saw the Community episode where they played Dungeons & Dragons.
Right.
So will Joel McHale be there?
He said he wasn't available that night, but maybe if we turn it into a full-blown campaign.
Okay, and we choose characters for ourselves.
Is that a joke? Oh man, I wish.
And then the dungeon master sort of paints us a yarn and puts our characters in a world, and we get to roll dice to
dice
figure out
singular.
What? No, die is the singular.
Die is the Sorry, it's the red wine and the now Pabst Blue Ribbon.
PBR, everybody.
Matthew will have the whole story in his head, and it's choose your own adventure. We can make choices, but it'll be walled in with the confines of Matthew's brain.
So help me choose my character. Should I be a cleric, rogue, halfling?
Ooh. So, I like Hopey Dopey's system, especially when everyone is doing it. But in this case, especially after talking about how, Laura's a freaking nerd, Taliesin has played before, you're not going to be able to have a system where everyone shows up and, some sort of theme, and then you go from there. So, my recommendation for new players that are just now coming into the game is I go through each class well, actually, no, that's not true. The first thing that I do is I explain the ability scores, because I think that the ability scores are the core thing about D&D. This is my own personal belief. They do a lot of dictation around what type of character you play, what skills you take, what sort of experience you have, like what style of play you have within the game. So I explain the skills, and I say, which skill do you want to use the most? And if they say anything other than Constitution, I say, great. And I lay out the classes that use that skill. Or that can reasonably use that skill, and it's not going to feel weird. So if they say Charisma, I'm like, all right, great. We got Bards. We got Warlocks. We got Paladins. What do you want to play of those three? And in that case, you have two full casters and you have a Paladin. So I would tell them, what do you want to play? I might recommend Paladin because it's a little bit less complicated, but you still have a lot of really cool options and really fun times. Oh, fuck, I forgot about Sorcerers. I do. Oh, man. Yeah, I am doing Sorcerers dirty, man. Because they're just charisma wizards. Fucking tell me I'm wrong. I'm playing a Sorcerer right now. I think they're interesting, but they do not separate themselves apart enough. Is fucking prove me wrong. But yeah, so I'll go through. If they say Dex, I'll bring up I'll bring up monks, fighters, rangers, patronless warlocks, Charizards. Yeah. Yeah, paladins are basically patronless warlocks. I thought that was my phone vibrating. Was something vibrating? Was my phone vibrating? Oh, fuck. I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, I don't have it on Do Not Disturb, and I'm reading chat off of it. Fuck. All right, Do Not Disturb. We're good. Wizards are the nerds to the Sork's jock. Yeah, but it's like being a chess jock. Like, yeah, maybe you can bench 350, but you still do magic. Like, Anyways, I'm getting off track. So I kind of determined which ability they want to use, and then I put out any of the classes that even theoretically could, like, make a normal build with that ability being their primary. And then I kind of just described the vibes of the class. I'm like, paladins, the vibe of paladins is smite. And I explained to them what smite is, and I'm like, do you want to do smite and have other stuff too? And they're like, either yeah or nah. And then they're like, what's bard? And I'm like, bard plays instruments and is good at things. They're generally good at things. Not all classes are. And also they do magic. That's about as deep into it as I go. And if they ask me for details, I give it, but I try to keep it really surface level. And then when they pick a class, then I help them pick a race. Sorcerers are the theater kids, or is that warlock? Bards are theater kids. Bards are... No. I think bards are the kid... bards are the I do everything. Bards are the like, yeah, I'm in debate and band and choir, and I'm actually also just tried out for baseball, and I got varsity. Like, I didn't even practice. It's crazy. That's bards. Warlocks are theater kids, but they don't go on stage. They work in the costume department. Because Warlock is the greatest game of dress up available. Bards aren't the band kids. Bards are Mary Sue's. Bards are Mary Sue's. They have Jack of all trades. Jack of all trades is the most Mary Sue ability I've ever read. Like, it's just like, oh, do you want to not be bad at anything? Congratulations, here's Bard. Bards talk about their AP classes? Yeah, exactly. And they still like, oh yeah, like, I like my passion. Guitar is my passion, but I just also happen to be fucking 1500 in chess, and also on JV and 3 other sports, and also the fucking summa cum laude. Like, they just do everything, and it's annoying as shit, but the guitar's their passion.
Goliath?
Or should I be a ranger, wizard, tiefling? What is that?
Tiefling is just a person with sort of like ram's head horns.
That sounds fun.
Devilly person.
Devilly. Oh,
yes.
I don't like that.
So the only thing I would steer you against, that was not a force burp. That was a real
authentic
PBR authentic.
I can smell it. It was.
Mm-hmm. Stay away from Rogue, because Laura Bailey and I are probably going to battle over that.
Okay.
I was right to the front line and said, I'm a half-elf Rogue. And Travis said that Laura was a little pissed that I jumped on that.
Wow.
Because that's sort of her
There's
territory.
already animosity.
But what I recommended is that...
that makes sense. I see that. Laura just plays a rogue with a pet. Like, that's just how she plays Ranger. She barely even thinks about the magic, and she's a rogue with a pet that really likes dragons and the forest. That's all.
Laura Bailey and I have the same birthday, so I said, why don't we be twins?
Oh,
we can be half-elf twins.
Ooh, I like that. Can I just be the worst? What's the worst? I'll be the worst character.
Bah! Okay, he did choose the worst character. That's fair. She's a rogue at heart. Yeah. That's so... I love that. Okay, so this is I think I brought this up when they were doing their backstories, like episode 1. I think I brought this up. I am a huge fan of making connections between the characters at the table beforehand. You don't have to be connected to every character at the table. You don't have to have met everyone in a fucking past life or whatever. But with I normally try to go for like a 4-player game. I try to be connected to 1.5 people. Like, I have a pretty strong or pretty substantial connection with one other player, and I have like a weak or minor connection to another player. For a 6-player table, I try to go like 2 strong connections and like 1 weak one. Or maybe like 1 strong connection and like 3 weak ones. Because I think that having that existing backstory can help bridge some role-playing gaps when you actually start playing at the table. In episode 1, you almost jizzed when you found out 2 of the PCs were siblings. That sounds like me. Because I never fucking see it. It is always you met at a tavern. And I don't want to bash on taverns. I think that people, rightly make fun of the you all meet in a tavern intro because it is stupid, but it's not stupid for the reason that they think. They think that it's stupid because of the tavern. The tavern is not stupid. The tavern is dope. The tavern is a great setting. It's an amazing place to start this. But it is stupid because they're all strangers. That is what is stupid. Going out and adventuring and risking your lives with 3 other people that you could not give less of a shit about, and you could not care less if they died. It is stupid. It's silly. And I think that the easy way to bridge that is just make there be connections. I think I went into my own way that I make connections. I have and so I probably did. I would guess that I talked about it in episode 1 about if people don't have connections they already want to make, I have them write down these prompts of my character told your character a secret before the session. What was it? Right, so everyone writes down 2 prompts like that, puts them all into a bucket, shake it up, and then you draw a prompt. And one of the players is writing the prompt, and one of the players is answering the prompt, and that creates implicit links between characters. So that's one of the things I like doing if people don't have a planned thing. But I think the planned things are even better. The tavern I gave my players was a cereal bar. Fuck yeah, dude. Like a serial killer bar. Is it it fronts as a cereal bar, but everyone there is super shifty and emo. I love that. Give people more choices for roleplay. Yeah, exactly. It bridges that gap a little bit. It just gives them kind of some default templates to go down of you can be oh sis, if you say me and this person are siblings, there's immediate roleplay where you can just go on your own thoughts and feelings about how do siblings interact, and then you just interact with the other character that way. You don't have to learn all of the different things about this other person's character. You can just collapse it down to they're my sibling, I'm going to treat them like a sibling. Or this is an old coworker, I'm going to treat them like an awkward coworker. This is someone that I've been adventuring with for 20 years, I'm going to treat them like I trust them implicitly. I'm going to trust them to fucking do a 20-foot trust fall. Right, so if you define those ahead of time, it just really speeds up that interaction a lot. Taverns or prisons are classic. Exactly, dude, they are, and I think that taverns and prisons is a great thing to bring up. I think those are classics for a reason. I think that those settings really, really work, but people lean on them too heavily. They think that they can do all of the work when they only do quite a lot of it. Also means they have to be more selfless when other people aren't strangers. Yeah. And you have this nice little chain, right? Of you can say, like, I'm friends with this person is friends with that person is friends with that person. And so your character can have this implicit trust of like, okay, I don't know them, I don't trust them, I don't have a personal relationship with them, but I know a guy who knows a guy that does have that personal relationship with them, so they can't be too bad, right? It builds this inherent layer of trust where even though your character doesn't trust them, you trust someone who does trust them. And so you have this sort of implied trust that we really have in real life.
So is that like a gnome? Sure, what's that? Well, it's just a small person, a very small person.
So it's just a short guy.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to pick a race. There's elves and there's humans and there's half elves.
Dude, I'm shrinking. Did I tell you guys this? I don't know why I asked if I told you guys this. I found it out between now and last stream. They told me I was 5'7" when I went and got a physical. They have been telling me you are 5'8", almost 5'9", since I was 18. They've been telling me 5'8", almost 5'9". And then I roll up to the physical, and she's like 5'7". And I'm like, oh, what? And I was like, was I slouching? Like, was I almost 5'8"? She's like, nah. You are solidly 5'7", my man. And I was like, when? How? Did she measure twice? She did not measure twice. She did not measure twice. I don't know if she was fucking with me. She did take the measurement in centimeters. So maybe there was a conversion error. There was a unit mix-up. But I need to go measure myself now because I'm becoming more and more of a short king by the day. Luckily, Paige is like 5'3" or 5'4". Damn, seems young to be shrinking. I don't have good posture. I've been trying to get better posture in recent years, but my natural state of like sitting in a chair, which longtime viewers will know, my natural state is to do this, like fucking Gollum. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but like this is how I sit in chairs. And it freaks people out. So I don't do it in public. But like, if I could be in a restaurant, I would sit in chairs like this in the restaurant. Because it just feels better to my back. And like to my like lower back for some reason. Of like this like weird like squat position. Clearly a math error is still solidly 5'8". Thank you, Restay. I googled when do you start shrinking. Google says in your 30s. I am a bit younger than in my 30s. So you're L. I've heard this. Is this how L sits? L just always sits in like the deep squat. I've never seen Death Note, but I do know who L is. But this is just, yeah, this is my thing. To be fair, I didn't sit in this as much. I used to want to, but my ankles weren't flexible enough. And then I had like a 2-month period where I rolled my ankles like 5 times. And I asked the doctor, I was like, how do I stop this from happening? And he was like, you need to like stretch your ankles more. And a good goal is there's something called, it's called a couple of names. It's either like the Asian squat, the primal squat, the Slav squat. But it's basically where you squat down, kind of like, you're squatting down like on your toes, but you have your heels all the way to the floor. It's very, very restful, but it requires your Achilles tendon to be really, really flexible. It requires your Achilles tendon to be like pretty long. Which a lot of like Western Europe and North America doesn't really have it. But you'll notice it like when babies like squat down, they like do the deep squat. And so that's one of the things that I did to like get back like ankle flexibility and strength was I just every single day fucking drilled deep squats. And like, primal squats, whatever. And it's actually been really nice, like just for my life. Like we were hiking the other day and there was this really like low branch and I just got down into the deep squat and just like kind of hustled under it and like Paige had to like crawl under it. And it like has stopped me from rolling my ankles. It's honestly been like a huge improvement to my life. I need to like work more on flexibility training, because it's like one of like the number one things you can do for your health. Or so I've been told. Yeah, he's just a crouching gremlin, man. That's what I am. You should start offering people strawberries. I don't like strawberries. I wouldn't even know where to get them. He does it in restaurants too, so you should. I am not doing that. I'm way too aware of myself. I was thinking Mega is basically Marisha with the battle perch. Wait, what is the battle perch? Is this a later thing? Is this a later thing? I'm one to talk though. I always sit with my feet on the chair somehow as well. It's a thing, man. I also really like I don't know. Just gonna give a crotch shot. But I really like sitting with my feet up, like in like this sort of configuration. I don't sit with my feet underneath my legs whenever I sit, like, you know, we called it like crisscross applesauce. But you know, when I sit in that, I've always sat with my feet above my legs, like resting on my legs, which does mean that I can like lift myself up, which is pretty neato. Oh yeah, it kind of is, lol. Marisha does it a lot when it gets tense. Oh, me too. I have to stand up. I have to put my feet up. Yeah. She's basically on the table at that point. That's me. Just how Marisha sits, lol. You must have already seen it and not noticed. Probably. I'm just like, yeah, she's just sitting normal. I'm just in it. You were watching, it's too crowded, but when she gets more, what does that say? Oh, room at the table. She'll perch like a bird. Me and Marisha, we're soul linked on that. Because that's why I got the standing desk, is because I get too restless. I gotta stand up, I gotta switch. Because also the other thing about my standing desk is when I do this, my eye line changes a little bit. So I can just raise up my desk like a little bit, and then it's like way more comfortable for my like posture. Anyways.
They like having sex together.
I do have the battle
there are
perch.
orcs, and there are the tieflings. There are dragon people. What are we calling those? I can't remember what they're. Dragonborn.
So, all right. So we've established I'm going to be a garden gnome.
Oh, you are going to do gnome?
Well, you said you're picking my character for me.
Okay, gnome.
Okay, I'm a gnome, of course.
Then you have to pick
a class.
A class. So
cleric, fighter, rogue, ranger, paladin, wizard, bard. Ooh.
Bards play. You'll have like a lute or a mandolin, and you'll play.
Do I fight with this thing?
Okay, I think the fact that he was rolling through them and then he said the word bard and he went, ooh, hee hee hee. Like, if I'm helping him create the character, which I think Liam is doing the same thing, I hear that and I'm immediately like, oh, he wants to play a bard. Like, yeah, for sure.
Occasionally, but more you strum your guitar and it inspires us all and gives us bonuses for our attacks or makes us feel better.
Do I actually, in the playing of this game, do I actually have to sing songs?
Yeah,
do I have to bust out like Eminem's, you know?
Oh no, do I have to? Oh, don't make me sing. Oh no, I could never. Do I have to bust out some fat rhymes at the table? No. Oh no. The list of playable races is larger than 5e's generic list, right? In Pathfinder, maybe. I don't know. I've never, well, I shouldn't say I've never played Pathfinder. I've played Pathfinder once, but I would not consider myself an expert. But then there's the PHB list, and then there's Volo's guide, there's Elemental Evil, but a lot of those supplements, well, first they were going to play Pathfinder, and then when they switched over to D&D, most of the supplements weren't out yet, so they didn't have as many options as we do today. Sam is the most bard I've ever seen in the most perfect way. I feel that, Hopey Dopey. I feel that. Lol, yeah. Liam always chooses Sam's racing class B2W 3 campaigns in a row. Damn. Okay. All right, fair enough. And all 3 are perfect for Sam. Fuck yeah, good to know.
Like, lose yourself in the moment, you know it, you know it. Just to inspire you guys to, like, do better? Come on, guys. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight.
I think Matthew will give you extra points for that.
Okay.
But if you like hitting things with a stick, I would go warrior. If you want to be a gnome of the cloth, you could be a cleric and get powers from the gods, the deities.
A gnome
above.
of the cloth.
You could be a ranger, which is like Robin Hood, I guess. You shoot arrows and are in the woods.
Tell me this:
to deer.
You were picking a race. Is there racism in Dungeons and Dragons? Is it racially, like, are there racially tinged words that you can, like, call someone? Oh man, he's a Drew.
You call gnome a nimlet? Yeah, that's very offensive. I think it all depends on the dungeon master.
Okay.
Really.
I'm gonna try to bring some racism.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to be like a physical?
Oh yeah, I've talked about fantasy racism on stream before. I've made several TikToks and shorts about it. Because especially when I first started content creating was, kind of in the height of like 1D&D shit of like the OGL, changing race to species. There was a lot of conversation about it. And yeah, short answer, it depends on the dungeon master, but it also depends, I think it depends more specifically on the setting. And something that I find very interesting is how racially charged basically every like D&D core setting is. Because fucking 5e's base setting is the multiverse. It's not, they don't actually have a setting, but we all know it's Forgotten Realms, right? We all know it's the Forgotten Realms. And the Forgotten Realms is actually an incredibly racially charged setting, which the more I learned about it, the more I was like, really, this is the one we chose. But then I looked into more and more, and I was like, oh man, they're all like that. Because I remember Black Sun got a lot of shit. Or maybe not Black Sun, Midnight Sun, maybe. There's a Planescape, I think, that is like very, very racially charged. And yeah, I was sort of surprised that they've seems like kind of always leaned into that. It seems like it would make sense to build a setting where it is Dark Sun. Thank you, Undead King. Yeah, Dark Sun. It seems like it would make more sense, at least to me, to have your base setting be not super racially charged, and then have these other ones for people that want to explore more of that layer. Which I've seen a whole bunch of memes about it in Baldur's Gate 3, because Baldur's Gate 3 is obviously very, it's in the Forgotten Realms, and it leans really heavily into the lore. And I saw a meme. I would have to find it. Maybe I'll show it sometime on stream. But it was like a green-skinned character being like, get out of here, red skin, like, oh, I fucking hate you. And the person goes up and defends the red-skinned person, is like, hey, like, you shouldn't hate them because of their skin color, blah, blah, blah. Like, very obvious, racial things. And then the green-skinned person leaves, and he's like, oh, like, sorry about that, red person. And the red person's like, oh, it's okay, fucking greenies, am I right? Because that's how it feels playing Baldur's Gate 3, is everyone hates everyone. Like, you cannot walk 2 feet without a racially charged comment in Baldur's Gate 3, to the point where it's like, you like get like desensitized to it. It's crazy. The races come into campaign 2 more than campaign 1. That makes sense. It's something that is not... I've generally avoided it in my games because I don't feel qualified to give racial commentary, personally. But I can see how, when you're making an art form like this, you've done a whole campaign. I'm sure that he hopefully handled it pretty well, and he had a lot more time to prepare for it in campaign 2. So,
tiny person, or do you want to be a tiny person who makes magic happen?
Can I do something where I get tossed? Like, I don't actually have to do anything physical, though, right? I'm just rolling a die.
Yeah, so the way it works is the creativity comes from Matthew's brain, but when we get into an altercation with maybe some kobolds, which are like dog people, or
I hate dogs.
A beholder, which is
dog people,
like a floating eyeball.
What?
All with like snake hair.
Is there a train that comes?
Man, that's so funny that's the thing that was on Liam's mind is the Beholder, and it's the very first one. It's Kavar
Comes through and kills us.
So you'll have a certain number of hit points, right? So that's how many times I could whack you with a stick before you die. You'll have attributes like how high is your strength, your dexterity, your wisdom, your charisma.
Off the charts.
And these are things that...
Is there penis size? Because I'm more thick than long.
You can...
Dude, he had it before they even started. He had the cube in his brain before they ever even began. He was ready.
Pencil it in underneath Constitution. And those things factor into, sometimes you'll meet a merchant and say, I want to try to smooth talk her into giving me a discount.
But I can because I'm a smooth talking gnome.
Gnome, right. He knows all the tricks for under the sheets.
And I can bust out some M&M.
It sounds like you want to pick a high charisma because high charisma people are very attractive. You could be a stunning gnome.
I don't even need that. I've already got that in spades.
When we say gnome, I don't mean...
Oh, okay. That is wild. Instant bard comment. So this is... I don't know if I've ever given this rant before. I think it's a really easy trap for new players, new DMs to fall into, of describing charisma as just physical appearance, physical beauty. And I think we all know that it's not that, right? You can have a gnome that is very intimidating. You can have a Goliath that is very not, right? We all intuitively know that that's not what charisma is. But I think that it really comes into play when you think about warlocks being charisma casters, as well as sorcerers. And I think the way that I always describe charisma to people, especially newer players, is that it is your force of will. It's your force of personality, right? Think about someone that you know that is very persuasive. It's not just that they're hot, right? Normally it is just they just have the it factor. They have the X factor to make their will impressed upon the world. And for warlocks, that is imposing their will against their patron's will, right? Their patron wants to, get the better end of the bargain. How good warlocks are at casting spells is a direct reflection of them standing up kind of to their patron, of saying hey, give me my end of the bargain. And with sorcerers, it is this inherent wellspring of magic that is just pouring out of them. And the charisma is their will to shape that magic and force it down other people's throats, impress it upon the world. And that's why you can have someone who is just generally charismatic, who is intimidating, persuading, deceitful. It is because it is their mind over matter. It is their will against yours. You are meek and shitty, and they are Chad, extrovert. High charisma's extrovert, how but aside, I agree. Yeah. Because I think you can have, I would say, this is for my anime nerds, I would say that Mob Psycho 100 in Mob Psycho 100, Kageyama is fairly charismatic. I think that Mob is actually a fairly charismatic character, but he's clearly not extroverted, right? He just has this force of will and personality sometimes. Other times, he's very unsure of himself, he's very meek, but when he is standing up, he just has this X factor, right? And to me, that's what I think of charisma as. It's not like a perfect description, because all of this is abstraction, right? Dexterity is an abstraction, everything else. Sam Riegel's a real life bard. Yeah. I mean, Sam Riegel, the person, has a high charisma. He is just, he has an it factor that makes him hard to look away from, in all sense of the word. I have an introvert sorcerer concept whose high charisma would basically be the ability to passively project whatever image of herself she wants, I'm dangerous or I have the right to be here. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is not. It doesn't have to be the popular person at the party, but when it actually goes to getting the things that they want, it is them getting what they want, not through wisdom, not through like an inherent understanding of the situation, right? Like that has nothing to do with charisma. You don't have to understand shit to be charismatic. You don't have to know facts and figures. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to be dexterous. You just have to say, you're giving me what I want. I want this thing. You're going to give it to me. Now, the exact flavor of how you're getting what you want can change. Is it through fear tactics, like intimidation? Is it through lies? Is it through, cajoling? These are all charismatic things. But yeah, I think charisma is, I want this thing, I'm going to get it. And how good you are at that. And you can even think about it the opposite. Like, what is a low charisma character, right? A low charisma character is someone who doesn't stand up for themselves, right? Like a super meek, weak-willed person who just rolls over in the face of what someone else says to them, right? If you're haggling with a merchant and you say 200 and the price on there is 300 and you say 200 and they say 300 and you say 250 and they say 300 and then you buy it for 300. That's a low charisma character. The second time when they came back with the same price, you say, no, that's not how this works. Right? But a low charisma character is going to roll over. They're going to say like, oh, okay, I don't want to cause any trouble, man. Right? Like if we want to use another person at the table, Laura Bailey is a high charisma person by these definitions. She's a high charisma person. It doesn't seem like she's overly extroverted. Like, I don't get that sense off of her. But she's definitely a high charisma person by this definition. I have the skills to control how I appear to others. That's very cool flavoring, Marina. That's very, very cool. I assume... Or I like the flavoring of a lot of like illusion type stuff. Like my current sorcerer is very much flavored to where everything that she does is related to psionics. So like telekinesis, telepathy, like even the non-telepathic spells I flavor in terms of telepathy. And so I really like a high charisma sorcerer with this like image projection ability where like everything is flavored in terms of like illusions and projections. Like, but that's just me. You don't have to do that at all. I really like flavoring all of my magic to like be from a more narrow source. But that sounds like a really cool concept. My first character was a bard with no tongue, so less witty and more perceptive and creative with how they persuaded, etc. Just brooding while playing music and treat characters. The current sorcerer I was just talking about is mute. She had her vocal cords cut when she was very, very young. And so that's why everything is like flavored through psionics, through telepathy. She uses whistling to do her verbal components because you don't need vocal cords for whistling. So yeah, no, I love like hard flavoring characters like that. I meant more like in a charisma way, not magically. She'd be an elemental cold magic, I think. Eladrin. Ooh, very fun. You meant more, but I like, okay, Rita, I like that a lot. That really goes into the impressing your will discussion that we've been having. Yeah, I like that a lot.
In, as tall as this beer can. The gnomes are like up to my knee maybe, or maybe my thigh.
But do they have tall pink hair that you can style?
You can make that happen. But okay. I really encourage you to go gnome because normally people wuss out and they want to look all like Kate Moss. No one ever goes for the gnome.
I'm going gnome.
Or the dwarf.
I'm going gnome.
Thank you, Sam.
Sure.
For taking that hit. I will be a Kate.
Okay, fucking... I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but hot take, people don't go gnome because they give intelligence. That's it. That's why people don't go gnome. Because they give 2 int, and unless you are going Eldritch Knight, Arcane Trickster, or wizard, you don't need intelligence. At least at this point. Now you have gnome artificers, which almost feels like cheating. Like, it feels too thematic, at least to me, of like the gnome artificer is like a trope outside of D&D, which makes me really not want to do it. So yeah, I think that's why. I don't think it has anything to do with like the looks or the feel. It's just because they give intelligence. People go halflings constantly. And this is why I don't like racial ASIs. We're same page, Marina, same page. I love just the floating 2-in-1 that Baldur's Gate 3 and Tasha's has for custom lineage. I think the floating 2-in-1 is great. I understand the concept of wanting races to feel like themselves. Like, I've heard a lot of that of like, oh, so just any race can do anything. It's like, okay, no. Like, orcs still have savage attacker and relentless endurance, which fit way better on a martial class. But you don't need to enforce that even more by also giving them strength +2, right? You're already giving them these racial abilities, racial magic, that do fit towards a specific style of play. You don't need to force that style of play down people's throat even harder. Yeah. This was pre-Tasha's with the optional racial bonus allotment, which is bomb, by the way, and everyone should use it. Yeah. Yep. A floating +2/+1. Love it. I'll be talking to I normally talk to my players a lot and try to figure out what they want and how they like it. Because especially when it comes to building characters, I have a lot of opinions, but ultimately I just want my players to be happy with the characters they're playing. And if they like the racial bonuses that they're getting, cool. If they want to take all of the stats off of a different race, but reskin it as, this other race, and it works and it makes sense, we're fine. I'm down. So, yeah, I just want my players to play the characters they want to play. And I don't want those characters to be stronger than any of the other characters at the table. So I'm always down for people to change flavor or to get something extra or more specific, but to overall get that thing but be weaker as a character. Always down for it.
A Moss-esque half-elf, but you can take that hit for the team. Thank you.
No, I will definitely be a gnome and possibly a bard gnome or a cleric gnome because I want to be as dorky as possible.
That's amazing.
And we're going to do this. When it's coming up in like a week or two, right?
Oh, it's early December. I can't remember the date.
Wow.
But I agreed to it. Matt's been inviting me for, we've talked for, it's not just invited, like part of me in the back of my brain is like, remember those days when you played the D&D? It was so good. And so I flirted with the idea of doing it, but then the other half of my brain,
like I like there being multiple levels of what a character is. Like, I don't think it should be all the class. So I really love that there are unique racial features. Like, even though I don't really fuck with Lucky, like I think Halfling's luck is interesting. Honestly, I think elves are kind of boring, personally. But I'm down with Variant Human, where Variant Humans just get an extra feat. So it really cements this fiction of them being super flexible. I liked Dragonborn breath weapons if they weren't so bad. So I really like these hyper unique racial features. But yeah, we're on the same page, John, of like the +2/+1, just let it float, let it go wherever.
Should I say the front 90% of my brain's like, you're a dad. You got to earn some money, and you got to not pay 15 anymore. But the little tiny nugget in the back is winning out. So we've talked about it on and off for a year, and finally I was like, hey, I have free time, a little bit of free time these days.
You're making free time for our podcast.
Right. And then I basically railroaded you into it because I thought it would make for good sport for episode 3.
I love sport, and I love doing things out of my comfort zone, and that's what this is going to be. And maybe we'll even take some pictures of the event and post them on our site, which doesn't exist.
Maybe if we get permission from the group, we'll record a little bit.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Some of your mandolin playing.
Well, so check us out next week for a recap of how the D&D went and how my cleric gnome fared in the made-up world of Matthew Mercer's head.
Because there's nothing going on screen, but I figured, make this a little bit bigger.
For more stories of working and playing from Liam O'Brien and Sam Riegel. I mean, I think we had a good show today. I think we did good.
Yeah, we learned a lot. I learned a lot about you.
I learned a lot about Dungeons and Dragons and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You learned how I smell after CrossFit.
Yeah, intimately.
I learned how your burps smell.
Uh-huh.
And we learned that the capital of Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur.
Right.
But we don't know how to say goodbye in Malaysian. Maybe I should look that up.
The pop wasn't there. All right.
Yeah.
So now is the part of the show where we talk about the fun thing we done.
The fun that we done, everybody.
Last time around.
Yeah, because every week on the show, we challenge ourselves. Every time on this show, we challenge ourselves to do a fun thing, to break the routine, to get a break from the monotony of work.
I felt like I had to stab an EpiPen into your chest for a second.
I was convulsing. And really push ourselves out of our comfort zones and have some goddamn fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Last time, we challenged ourselves to play Dungeons and Dragons, straight up old school pen and paper.
We did it.
We did it.
We went in there.
Oh my God.
That's very cool. I like that a lot. Challenge yourself every week to do something fun. I think that's... I think that like some people get into a habit of like, I am doing that. Like I play video games. I do a hobby. I sew, I knit, I run. And I really enjoy that hobby. But I think that there's kind of a key difference a lot of the time between doing a hobby you like and having fun, which is something I didn't realize until relatively recently. Because, like, for example, when I was in college, I played a lot of the video game Rainbow Six Siege. To the point where I did some ESL tournaments. Like I had a little team. I was a Montaigne main for anyone that means anything to. I was the IGL, and I would play that game a lot, and sometimes I would have fun, but I didn't always have fun. And even now, I really like playing video games still. But I don't always have fun when I play them. Sometimes I go and play them with friends, and we still don't have fun. And I think that really purposefully trying to pick out a thing of like, I'm not just going to default to my hobby this week that I think is fun, or is sometimes fun, or has historically been fun. Like, I'm going to try to pick a thing that I am fairly confident will be fun. Like something unique, or maybe something that I don't do all the time, so that it's not really monotonous. I think it's a good challenge. I really like that. I don't do it, obviously, but I don't know. That might be something I maybe try to adopt.
And we might have been snake bit because
it was awesome.
It was fucking awesome, okay? I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna blow the compression on the microphone. It was fucking awesome. And every fear that I had, that I would want more of it, that I would become addicted to it in one session, I'm watching the waveforms blow Pro Tools wide open. I want more. And I'm not the only one. Afterward, we'll back up to the beginning in a second, folks. Afterward, I went home going, oh my God, I fucking love that. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I fucking love that. A couple of days went by.
Dude, it fucking happens. When you play, I had the exact same thing happen. I played one session and I went out and bought the books. I went out and bought the starter set, actually, not the books. And I was immediately like, I called up a bunch of my friends and I was like, I played this game. You have to come and play with me. You have to. It's a requirement. It is ordered.
I sent a little probing email out to everyone saying, hey, I don't know about you guys, but I had a good time. I kind of feel like this has to happen again. And then none of you motherfuckers responded. So I'm sitting at home going, oh God.
They all hated it.
I'm the geekiest one in the room. They don't want to do it again. And I feel like I'm wearing a pocket protector and glasses with tape in the middle. Luckily, as time went on, as I talked to some of our other warriors, I found out I wasn't the only one. For instance, Travis Willingham, who is the size of the Empire State Building, and built like an Adonis. He wants to come back. He wants to come back.
Yeah, he's the opposite of a geek.
Right.
He's so debonair and confident and funny and athletic, but he is hooked. And he played a giant.
He played called a Goliath. Yes.
His character was
he is a Goliath.
That's right.
And he played a Goliath.
And he loved it and was great at it.
All right. So we had,
and not only him, but I feel like your cohort.
Let's
paint a picture.
Let's back it up. Okay. When I got there, I couldn't stop giggling for the first 15 minutes because I couldn't believe we were actually doing it. So like Matthew Mercer, who
Matthew Mercer, everybody, great voice actor, great guy, great dungeon master.
I'll say this: Matthew Mercer never has to audition for me for any role in a project I direct ever again.
He is so committed to his dungeon mastering. Dungeoning master?
I remember someone told me about that quote. That's so funny.
I don't know what it is, but he was so good. He played 17 different characters and embodied them physically.
Just snapped into every different role constantly.
I thought he was that sort of smarmy guard stationed in front of the outpost at one point. Then I thought he was the bad guy that we were sent to kill.
Yeah, he turned into an old fart at the pub. He was great. He was great. Oh, so in love with you, Matthew, right now. Yes. Then, okay, so after we all settled in, we settled around the table, and it was me and you. I was a half-elf rogue.
I was a
gnomic bard.
I was a bard gnome, so I sang most of my stuff.
And it came in very handy.
Yes.
You also had very high perception. That came in handy. Laura Bailey was there. Laura Bailey.
Laura Bailey.
Are the harps there?
Laura Bailey. Yes.
There. Laura Bailey played my twin sister, and she was a ranger, and she had a pet bear. And
dude, I'm watching this on the screen, and I'm realizing that it's a really good thing that Critical Role has a visual component, because I am like listening to this and I'm staring off into like space at the floor to like to like imagine them talking, and it's much worse stream. It's much worse television than when I have and maybe it's also the mobile setup, because I can't see myself as Wells, because I mean, you know, a little bit of a, I guess not a secret, but I don't actually watch the Critical Role. Like I have it up on a monitor, but I don't actually watch it. I watch OBS projecting the stream so that I can also see my own reactions and how I look, and to make sure I don't look fucking weird. And right now, this like mobile setup is very disorienting, of like not knowing where to look and like looking all around. Oh yeah, the physicality stuff they do on screen is such a huge part of it. Oh, also that, Reese. Also that. So many people consume CR via the podcast form, and I don't know how they do it because I need the visual component of the show. Yeah, like I even feel my mind drifting off a little bit. All of the podcasts that I watch have to have a visual component. All of the podcasts that I watch. Because, and I actually think that's why I fell off of Adventure Zone. Because Adventure Zone is the actual play that I've gotten the furthest in, and it's only because I was listening to it with someone else. And I fell off of it because I would just get distracted, which is weird because I listen to audiobooks, but I think there's something different about like a podcast or an actual play that is audio only, because it's not a tight story. There's breaks, there's human moments, it's less focused. And so during this, while there's no visual components, I just feel my eye line like drifting around the room. Like I have no focus on this.
And then Orion Akaba played.
I had the same feeling about Adventure Zone. Yeah, Adventure Zone is even more podcasty than Critical Role, which was interesting. Like I found Adventure Zone very, very interesting, but I just fell off of it because every time I listened to it, I was like, my mind was just drifting off into space. D&D's, oh wait, yeah. I could consume CR much faster by listening to it while doing puzzles in another tab. My standard ADHD hack, fair. But I wanna watch their faces, also very fair. Also very, very true. D&D is such trash content, honestly. You have to do it really good for the screen. Yeah, man. Actual plays are trash. I'll come out and say it. Actual plays are really trash content. There has to be another hook. You can't just, which is the same thing with podcasts, right? You can't just get 3 dudes in a room and talk into the mic. It's bad. Like every popular podcast that you know, or interview show or whatever, has another hook. Like, Sean Evans is a fantastic interviewer, and he still needs hot wings. He still needs spicy sauce to keep people engaged, right? Like, having a gimmick and having a thing is not such a bad thing. Like, I'll say it, Critical Role, I don't think would work. Even if all of their personalities were exactly the same, I don't think it works if they're not voice actors. Like, even if Matthew Mercer's personality and creative energy is the exact same, Critical Role doesn't work if he's not a voice actor. I think nowadays, Matt could lose all of his voice acting skills and Critical Role still survives nowadays. But when you're starting it, you need that gimmick. Like, Critical Role was the actual play with voice actors, you know? It's wild we've gotten so much quality stuff using that format. It is. You have to have something else, I think, pushing it. Like, imagine someone watching any D&D gameplay and I'm in or running, even though it's all really, good D&D would be really shit entertainment. Yeah, my that's why I have I've said this before. I have no current plans to ever make an actual play. I have honestly very few plans to ever make content out of me playing D&D or running D&D. It would have to have some other gimmick. Like, I would never just be like, look at this one shot I made. And it's just like a normal one shot. Like, it would have to be themed. It would have to have a weird gimmick. It would have to be like I've thought about like doing a time loop one shot before where like it's like a hyper dangerous one shot. And so it's like the first time the players walk outside, they get TPK'd. And it's a time loop, and you have to find like the safe way through the world. Like, I think maybe that could be interesting content, but that's like a hyper gimmick. And I don't think you can really make interesting D&D content if you don't have that sort of gimmick. I'd agree. The voice acting hook is what helps you get hooked in watching the show. Yeah, it helps you. Like, that's the hook. That's the gimmick that gets you in the door. And then you stay for their personalities, their friendships, the inside jokes, frankly, parasocial relationships. Like, it's just like the podcast. Like the main podcast I listened to, it was, hey, this content creator that I really like is now making a podcast. Like, he didn't start with a podcast. And the hook for me was, man, I just want to watch that content creator more, right? And so, like, and that was a hook for a lot of people. And now I stay for the relationships. That content creator that I first came for is now my least favorite part of the show. Not to say I don't like him on the show, but I love the others even more. Keep playing it. It's coming up to the first session recording. Oh, okay, we gotta go. Dude, this is why I was saying, oh man, we only have fucking 20 minutes left. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, my hook was being fans of their video game or anime voice work and then watched, and that's how I was introduced. Yeah. Glad we're bold enough to boldly declare that actual plays are generally pretty bad content. CR and D20 are pretty great content, though. I mean, I have a whole rant on like what makes good content and bad content, but I'm not gonna do it now. We gotta watch.
Played a dragonborn mage, a befuddled dragonborn mage
who was a little quick on the trigger a couple times.
I like to light up rooms.
He had one trick of creating fireballs.
I feel like this particular wizard probably took advantage of the 11 herbs and spices a little too much. Taliesin Jaffe, who was another dragonborn paladin.
And man, that guy was throwing out phrases and moves and shit that I could not. He's like a level 11.
He knew what the fuck he was doing.
I was like, wait, you can do that?
But let's talk about Laura, who claims to have never played Dungeons and Dragons.
She owned that night. She destroyed in the fights. She was taking it to the enemy. When we were searching for things, she was first to find a fucking secret tunnel.
She might as well have been auditioning for the Lord of the Rings, because as soon as we started, I had a 10-minute sort of period of getting into the pool and going, ooh, it's a little cold. Oh, that's better. Laura right away was like, so tell me where. She went into character from the get-go.
Did not drop it and was committed and a helpful teammate. Oh my God, she had to have done it before.
But she didn't toss you like Travis did. You on the last episode said, is there a way to be tossed?
I've talked about that with both Laura and Liam. It's so funny that Liam's gushing about all this. I've talked about how Liam and Laura are the best two players at staying in character, even when they're talking to Matt, even as the DM. Like, they will still try to at least stay like half in character. Like, they never fully get out of the pool. And I think that it's impressive. It is aspirational. If you're into that. And, like, it's even, like, small things of just, like, the way that they talk to the other players through even a soft lens of their character. So this doesn't shock me at all that Laura was actually going nuts at this one shot. Laura in campaign 2 is something special. Oh boy.
Without any urging, Travis did pick you up and huck you across the hallway.
We were stuck in a hallway. There were clearly traps in front of us, and we had no way of getting past them. I believe that the two magic wielders in our group tried to search for secret passages and couldn't find them.
Hold up. I have this moment.
We have audio.
Right, that's the moment that I have to play.
We're going to play it for you because why me tell you when you can hear it firsthand?
Let me preface this. Matthew has just slapped down an hourglass to give us the urgency we needed in the moment we were in. By the time
Let's fucking go. Matt, use your hourglass again, my man. Bro, bring back out the hourglass. Literally, he slapped down the hourglass to give us the urgency that we needed. That's my main problem with Matthew Mercer, is that he does not give them urgency. Let's get the hourglass going again, dude. That sounds great. Megaphone watches CR2 Q6 2026. Bro, at this pace, probably. My most important thing right now is keeping consistent, but eventually, realistically, I need to up the number of episodes I watch per week. Like, I need to figure out how to do it, but I haven't come up with a good way yet. And like while still having like a balanced life. But maybe news on that to come, but probably, I'll tell you, we're probably sticking to 2 episodes a week until at least 2024. Until at least January. Maybe in January, I might actually have a way to up the number of episodes a week. But for now, it's probably going to be 2026 for CR2. It hit me last week why the cast is so good at keeping in character. Their day jobs require them to stay in the same voice during their voiceover sessions. That must help during D&D sessions. You are probably right, John. That is a good point that I've not thought of, because they're impeccable at it. Like, I think that Liam and Laura really stand out, but they're all really good at it. Yeah, we need to give you a sense of urgency. Fuck you, Rebecca. I don't need shit. Fuck, we do. I need to have a tangent counter. That's what I need. I need to have a tangent counter of like, this isn't directly analyzing the session. I put a timer up on screen and it buzzes me when I've gone over. Unironically might do that. Your sense of urgency is your natural lifespan. I'm bad at being succinct. I have to try really hard at work. It's one of the reasons that I love working from home is because I'm not distracted by other things. I'm so used to Lauren and Liam's very distinct C2 voices, it takes me a moment to even recognize who's speaking when I watch them in C1 or an interview after watching an episode of C2. Bring a chess clock to help you keep on task versus talking too much. I might make like an on-screen element. Yeah, in C2, all of them seem a lot better at staying in character the entire time. That's so sick. Everything I hear about C2, I understand why people told me to start in C2, but I want to get the whole pie. I want to get the whole like meal of how Critical Role evolves and escalates. I didn't want to jump in halfway. And I'm really happy with my decision because I see it only accelerating and only getting better. I literally don't know wasn't a what? Marina Giraffe, I literally didn't know. Oh, Liam wasn't British until like episode 20 or something. Lol. I think you started at the right place, but yeah, I love C2 way more. Fair enough. Yeah.
Sounds that we're dead.
That's super fair.
If you hear slight music playing in the background, I will tell you that Matthew Mercer, Dungeon Master Extraordinaire, had music synced up on his iPad that accompanied perfectly every scene, every place we were in. When there was danger, the music would change. He's amazing!
I'm not sure he's human anymore. But
I'm super not into music, just like as a person. But if you are into music and you really take care as a Dungeon Master, like you take care to plan out your music, plan out your scenes, and have like a catalog of easily switchable music, I think it can add so much to a scene and like to D&D just in general. Having really, really good music. I'm really bad at it. It's probably one of my biggest weaknesses as a dungeon master. And it's something that I've tried to work on a little bit, but if you like music, really investing into that, I think can enhance. I think it's a great way to spend your time. If you're into music, like picking out special songs for different locales, even, you know, places within a city, like, I think that can enhance the game so much.
Here is a little voice sample.
Okay, everyone who's not Scanlan, make an acrobatics check right now. It's just like they're moving at different speeds. That's kind of offsetting the football.
Oh no! I'm 6. 2.
Where's my acrobatics?
I'm moving the other way.
22.
24. Okay, good. All right.
Actually, no.
20. Oh shit. 24.
All right, so you just leap, hand plant, a double like land perfectly on the other side with hitting you guys back on the platform as you're bolting forward to get to the.
Thanks for almost killing me with your fucking arrow.
No time, run.
Come on.
Both you guys bolt and actually like in the frenzy of it, slam into each other and like fall on the ground.
Guys.
Sorry. You get back up and one of the other ones, one of the big tiles next to you.
Oh,
so all of a sudden speeds up and it hits the ceiling like shit.
So it's not like slow release.
No, they're moving at different speeds.
Oh god.
I rolled a 14.
All right, you managed. You're catching up to them. That's a serious issue right now. All right.
Oh, and did you catch that I did a light?
Yeah, we have light.
Yeah. Pass light. All right, so you guys are running forward now.
That's why you guys are into each other.
Bro, that is so funny. Him be like, did you catch that I cast light? That's real. Like, I'm not even gonna make fun of him too much for that. That's like if you're playing a cleric and you cast guidance, it's like by the way. But that's so funny.
Actually, for this one, both of you guys make perception checks to see which platform is moving the slowest.
Who does who? How?
Both of you.
14.
Behind.
Fucker. 10. Plus a lot, because I'm...
Perception. All right, great. All right, so you guys run forward, another one slams up in front of you, and you look across the way and you see that there's a pattern to some ones that are rising faster and slower, and both of you go, oh, left, right, and you kind of like make a quick little eye motion, and you both...
Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty.
You got it. Okay. Jump. You manage to catch on one side, your foot slips on one corner, and you start to lean forward one that starts coming upward towards you. You grab the back of his armor and pull him back.
You are fucking heavy!
Skims the front of your face.
Oh shit.
At which point you guys make it to the fountain, and you can now see the fountain itself. There's a water up top, and it's draining out into a small pool, and the pool itself seems to have some sort of weighted mechanism in it.
Hold on. I wanted to stop and wait till all of them rise, and then gently walk over.
Is this what's going on?
Yes, that's what's
I'm still going. Alright, so you guys have ran through it.
Time. We're out of time.
No, we still got.
Dude, I really want to. So we talked a lot about chase sequences in, I think, episode 5 or 6. It's right as they are, or maybe actually no, it's before the Ember Hold. So maybe it's like episode 4 when they're escaping from the barracks. So it's the Dwagar war camp, and they are escaping through the barracks, and it's a big chase sequence. And we really broke down, like, you know, chase sequence mechanics. I really need, there's more of a reminder to myself. I want to start collating a lot of my advice on like a web page or like a document that you guys can reference, and really like kind of flesh a lot of it out. Note, Marisha was present at the session but wasn't playing. She was assisting Matt and helping players find things on their character sheets. She was keeping an eye on the hourglass during this. Oh, I see. I've tried running with multiple DMs, or, you know, DMs assisting, or what have you. I've never found a good way to really do it, but it is something I've been interested in thinking about more and like revisiting, because DMing is hard. Like being a dungeon master is hard. It would be really nice to have help. But I've always, when I've tried it in the past, it's always been like a stepping on each other's toes sort of thing. So I don't know. It's something to mentally revisit for me.
All right, so you guys have moved past them.
God, I also don't like this mobile setup because I don't have my notes on. I normally like take notes on my vertical monitor, and I feel like I'm gonna forget all this. I'm literally probably going to re-watch this tonight as I'm going to bed just to remember everything I said and write it all down.
You guys
What do we do?
You guys have moved up to them.
Perception check that shit.
So you guys want to help them or just keep on pushing?
I'm running.
They just run past.
You fucking dick.
They're running back and forth. You guys are
Okay,
Am I within? Let's get
five?
back up. Make another acrobatics check for both of you,
Okay.
because now it's starting to get even more haggard and varied.
Can I use my
Shit, 16.
9. Okay, 16. You make it across through the way, leaping and
16
landing.
plus.
You smile. You guys have all of you have made it to the other side of the fountain, except for Grog, who is currently face down on one of the platforms that's rising.
Okay,
up.
hold on.
What are you gonna do?
I'm sending Monty over to get to help
You
us.
know, Monty can carry more than like 10 pounds.
Spells.
Dragon's breath. I'm going to freeze the water at the top of the fountain.
Start playing the ukulele.
Oh my god.
Start playing the ukulele.
I rolled a 17 on the
Come
roll.
on, come on, 20.
15, 16, 20, 22.
Okay, so at this point, you rebound.
Oh, my skills
And
are singing.
all this frost, just like intense frost breath, just streaks out, and all the water tenses up and freezes in place, and all the ratchets go.
Taliesin wasn't playing Percy, but I don't know the story there. Yeah, that's interesting. One person I know said they really like DMing in terms of making counters combats, but they aren't much into role-playing, and they said they'd want to try it out with a partner who does the RP side. Oh, man, dude. I can't... I'm really debating on if I should say anything, because it's sort of a leak, but it's sort of not... I've been thinking a lot about how to actually run games, and even in reference to like, oh man, actual plays suck, and also in terms of how to allow people to play more D&D, because playing D&D is actually kind of hard compared to a lot of hobbies. Like, you have to have someone that is, like, relatively committed to DMing and all this. And there is the Adventurers League that tries to bridge that gap. And so I've been debating, it's like, do I want to get involved with the Adventurers League? Do I want to look at some manner of, not like a competitor to the Adventurers League by any means, but is there a way to allow people who want to DM, allow people who want to play, and more specifically to allow people to do what they want to do, like exactly what you're saying, Reese, of like allow people to build worlds for people to run, almost like they're building modules. I don't know. It's really something that's been on my mind. I've been really, really thinking about that a lot, but I don't know. I haven't really come... The only ideas I've had are so big I could not execute on them, if that makes sense. Like, it would have to be like an Adventurers League competitor, and I can't fucking do that, right? So I don't know. It's really something that I've been thinking about though, and it's something I brainstorm it like every couple of weeks, but I never get anywhere. Yeah. Taliesin was playing a Blue Dragonborn IARC. When the one-shot was turned into a campaign, he opted to go with Percy, which was a character from an unfinished novel he gave up writing long ago. Oh, interesting. I mean, I know the feeling of, like, creating a character for a one-shot that you're not interested in playing long-term. Like, a great example is episode 18 and 19 with Felicia Day's character. I'm not saying that I don't think Felicia liked her character. I don't want it to come off like that at all, but I don't think it's a stretch to say that Felicia Day probably wouldn't have wanted to play that character for 100 episodes, right? I don't think that's a stretch. So I can very much understand how if you're playing this Blue Dragonborn or whatever for this one shot, and then they talk about even doing, a 6-episode, an 8-episode series, you might not necessarily want to play that same character. Any idea like that would take a whole lot? Yeah, exactly, Restay. So I'm not, that's why, like, I don't even know that it's a leak to say I'm thinking about it, because, like, any idea I've come up with is just so massive, and I don't even think would work. That's where I keep getting to, is I'm like, even that idea that would take like my entire life and a shitload of money, and it probably would fail. So I don't know. There's always the option of taking one of your long-term characters, simplifying, customizing a bit, and bringing them to a one-shot for better emotional investment. That's true, Moreno. That's very, very true. For me, long campaigns are for comfort characters and one-shots are for experimenting. Couldn't agree more.
All the platforms stop moving.
Like, I really like fighters and especially Eldritch Knights as general concepts, but I would never want to play one during a campaign. I would get bored, honestly. But I would love to play one during a one-shot. I would love to play one. Pretty sure some or guests have done what I said. That definitely makes sense to me. Yeah.
Smart lizard.
So as you can see,
Oh my god!
it was pretty high stakes.
It's so intense. I am right back in it. It's so great.
There were moments when there was a lull, but at that point, Matthew had slapped down an hourglass, and when the sand was out, we were all squished. We were all going to turn to jelly. So there was a little bit of pressure at that moment.
It was incredible. I can't believe it took me 30
OCR guests. God, again, the fucking mobile setup. I'm gonna need to, like, bring an extra screen or something, because I'm trying to read it off of my phone, and it's not working. This is good for me, though. This is good experimentation, figuring out, because I'm not always gonna be at my home setup. And, like, you know, sometimes I'll be vacationing and I just won't stream, but then other times it's like, okay, you know, like, I'm just working somewhere else, or I'm just traveling, you know, on the way to somewhere, and I'll want to stream from, like, a hotel or something, and this is all good to know for me.
6 years to play this game. It's been there the whole time.
And now perhaps we'll play them for the next 30
It's so great. Guys, if you get a chance, go get out a pen and paper and play some D&D, because it's so much fun. And we're going to definitely do this again. It's not even, it's going to become a regular thing.
It'll be its own thing, I think, outside of this podcast.
Yeah.
We need to keep coming up with new fun things. We can't return to this. Or maybe, you know, in year 5, we could be like, oh, we're
we can
coming
revisit.
D&D.
Sure. But in general, we're going to try to do new fun things every episode. But man, what a great time that was. We were up till, I think we were there till 2 or 3 in the morning.
We got to start earlier, because
for sure,
most of you a-holes got up at like 11 the next day. I fucking got up at 5 a.m. and made blueberry fucking pancakes.
With a Dungeons and Dragons hangover.
It was fucking hard. Yeah, I did have the D&D hangover.
I bet. But man, it was awesome. I hope that audio gives you guys a little bit of a taste of how great it was, and it's all because of this podcast that we did it. Damn it!
It's gonna force us to do shit that wouldn't get done ordinarily, and now we're looking at the following week and figuring out what we can do.
And when we come back,
That's so much fun. That's pretty good. That was good. That was fun. Seeing.
That's time means to tick down.
Oh, what the heck?
15 minutes left.
Oh, it auto played. I was like, what the fuck is going on? CR did a brigade one shot, and most of their PCs are pretty experimentally jokey. Eventually you'll be able to see it, but you have to finish C1 first. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I think that's like part of the fun of doing a one shot is making those maybe sillier characters. Finished right on time. Yes, we did. 7:01. That'll be it for me. I've been Megaphone Man. You guys have been the audience. You played your part spectacularly. Hopefully I played mine all right. And yeah, I will see you later. I will say, before I go, some kind of minor housekeeping stuff. Wednesday might or might not happen. If it does happen, it'll probably be earlier in the day. So it'll be like 2 or 3, and it'll probably even be shorter than this. 2 or 3 Central Time, where I normally do it like 5:30. Maybe. I'm gonna try. It depends. We want to leave the house at like 3:30 or 4. So it mostly depends on like my work schedule that day and whether or not I have like meetings or whether or not I have a bunch of tickets. I really don't like, especially for the Monday and Wednesday stuff, I really don't like leaving it up in the air. But Wednesday I'm gonna have to. I'll know a lot more Wednesday morning. Like Wednesday morning, I will be able to pretty confidently tell you guys whether or not it's going to happen. But right now it's like a 50-50, which really sucks. I really don't like. But I can tell you, I'm not committing to any specific days, but my plan for next week is 3 Critical Role episodes and at least 2 lunch clubs. We'll see. I don't want to fully commit to that, but that's my current plan.
Alright.
Oh, and I'm getting flashed for dinner.
Yep.
So housekeeping done. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.